Hello everyone, welcome to our 12 days 12 use case webinar series. In today's webinar, we will be converting one of the popular educational website, Pluralsight, into mobile applications using Twinr. We will be using Pluralsight to demonstrate that using Twinr you can convert any education website into mobile apps within just few minutes. So if you have an education website built upon any website technology, then you can use Twinr to convert it into mobile apps. So now let's start creating mobile applications for the Pluralsight website. So to create an application, we will click on create app button. Now Pluralsight is an educational website, so which doesn't really belong to any of these three templates. So what I'll do, I'll start by creating a blank application. First thing, we need to enter the application name, which is Pluralsight. The second thing is the website. So let's go to Pluralsight here and bring up the homepage URL, which is this one. Industry is education and the website platform is React. Okay, now you see there are two new options introduced here, which is remove header and remove footer. So in Twinr 2.0 we are introducing Twinr automation engine. Twinr automation engine will do lot of work automatically for us. So one of the thing in that automated work is remove header and remove footer. So remove header means if we look at the website here, okay, and if we switch it to the responsive mode. So for example, this is our header here, right? Now in the mobile application, usually we use native navigation bar instead of anything from the website, right? So what I will do, I don't really want to use this header in my mobile application. So basically, if I want to remove this header and footer automatically, then I can keep this option selected. Footer as well, which is not really important in the mobile apps. As you can see, we have this footer part here. I don't find it really useful for the mobile app, so we can remove that as well. Now it's not going to affect our website, right? These changes and all these remove header and remove footer will be applied to mobile application only. Okay, so I'm gonna keep these options enabled and let me click on the build app button. Okay, so now we have our application created here. As you all know that after creating an application, the first step is to download the preview application. So clicking on a preview app button will bring me to the preview app URL here. Our preview application is available on Android. So if you have an Android device, download this application, and when you are building an application on Twinr, you will be able to preview it in your real Android device. Or also, if you don't have a preview, if you don't have an Android device, so don't worry about it. Okay, we have a simulated integrated devices in the portal itself that you can use. Okay, now we have created our application. So let's go inside the application first. And we need to set up, we discussed about the preview app. Now the next part is branding. So let's go to branding here. Okay, so our application name is already there, iOS bundle ID and Android package name, which is not really useful as of now, right? Because those information is required when we want to publish it to Play Store and App Store accounts. So I'm gonna skip that for now. The next part is application icon. So let me upload an application icon for this one. Which is this one. Okay, so application icon is set, and the next thing is launch screen. So let me select the launch screen as well, which is this one, and let me set it up. Okay, so now we have app icon, launch screen, everything is set up here, right? The next part is application permissions. Okay, we will discuss about it later on. Now let's jump on to the next part, which is app theme. Okay, so obviously I don't really want to use selected color, unselected color like this, and instead I want to use my brand color. Okay, so for the Pluralsight, if I go to their website, then I can see that for the buttons and everything, they are kind of using blue color, which is this one, right? And for the button for the header, they are using black color. So they're kind of their theme is kind of like black and blue. So we will be also following the similar thing. Okay, so to do that, the first thing we need to do here is that For the tab bar selected color, we will be switching it to the blue color. So their blue color is 0074AB. This is their blue color. Unselected color, I'm gonna keep it gray for now. Okay. Tab bar background color. So tab bar background color, I'm gonna use this little lighter than black, right? And that color is basically 30338. This one will be our tab bar background color. Now similarly for the navigation bar, our title color is black and our background color is white, but actually I want to switch both of them. So our background color is gonna be black now, which is 00. Okay. But I will switch the title color to white, or maybe little less than white, which can be FC. Okay. And title image height, title image width, and all those things we will take a look at it later on. So save it as a draft. Okay, so our theme is kind of done, our branding is done, and now we will switch to our next part, which is our screens. But before we go to the screens, let's see that how our application looks like in the preview app, right? So as I explained before, that if you have an Android device, then you already have installed a preview app. If not, then you can use this integrated preview as well here, already available for you. Okay, so I have my Android device available for with me. So what I'm gonna do, let me bring up the preview here. So you see right now my application Pluralsight is available here, right? So let me click on the application, and we have our launch screen there, and now we have our home tab, home screen here. But what is this? It's displaying the login screen instead of this one, but obviously because the content, the URL that we are trying to access is require a login. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll set up a login feature for this application as well, but before that let me set up a multiple screen for this application. Okay, so to set up multiple screens, let's go here again and go to home screen. So we already have a home screen created, which has a tab icon and tab selected icon, all good. But as you know that our tab background color is kind of black, so our tab selected icon black color is not going to work. So let me first of all update that color and reselect the icon, which will be 0074AB, and update it and save it as a draft. Now let me create a new screen. So if I look at my website, now this is an educational website, so obviously as an educational purpose I am providing videos here, right? Courses here. So what could be the most important screen for me is browse the courses or category of courses, right? So what I'll do, my next screen I'm gonna use is basically the browse screen in Pluralsight, which is this one. So let me go here, browse, screen URL, and screen icon, general icons, and I'm going to use, and I'm gonna change that color to 858585. Okay, so which is little bit of a gray. And now for the tab selected icon, I'm selecting that icon, similar icon again, which is this one, but this time I'm going to use a selected color, which is 0074AB. Oops. Reading icon. Update and save it as a draft. Okay, now my next screen is gonna be, let's go here. So now my next screen, obviously I can create an account screen, but I think notification is also very important for the educational website. So let's create a notification screen. So for the notification, I already have a URL here. So let me use this. Let's go here, notifications, and then the screen URL, and then the screen icon. So I can select the bell icon. Let me select, notification icon for this one, and change the color to gray color, and add this, and also let me select the similar icon again as a selected icon, and this time it will be 74AB. Yeah, and update this. Okay, notification and 4AB. Okay, so update this and save it as a draft. Okay, now let me create my last screen, which is account. Okay, for the account screen, I'm going to go to the website here, and let me click on the profile. So for the account screen, they are also adding a name here at the end, but instead what I will do, I will use this part. So for example, if I'll go to new tab and enter this again, based on my current logged in user, they will be redirecting me to this particular URL. So okay, so let me click on this, select this particular URL, go here and select the URL, and select an icon here for the account, which can be this one, I think so, user icon, and update. Add, my new screen is being added here, save it as a draft, and let me select that similar icon again with my selected color, which is this one. Update, user icon, and 0074AB. Update and save it as a draft. Okay, so finally all my 4 screens has been created. Now let's see how our application looks like. So let me go to the preview here again. Okay, and click on this button and reload this. Okay, so you see I have 4 different tabs created here at the bottom of the screen, which is home, browse, notification, and account. So if I'll switch between all of them, currently all of them are displaying a login screen because our application requires the login, right? And our tab bar, our navigation bar is currently displaying home, browse, notification, and account. So we're gonna do some customization on that navigation bar as well, and a lot of other things. Okay, so first of all, let me set up the login screen. Okay, so at least we can able to see the next part of the application properly. Okay, so to set up the login screen, let's go to the login part here. Okay, and let's enable this feature. Now the second option is, does your app require login at the start? So yes, that's what we want. And the next part is, do you want to keep your users logged in every time they open an application? So yes, every time user opens my application, I want to keep the session alive, right? So let me enable this option as well. Now the next part is to provide a login status check script, which I already have prepared it. So let me copy paste this script for now. Okay, perfect. So I have a login script available here. Now let's find out our login form, submit button, username field, and password field selector. So we go to the website. Okay, let me log out from my account, and then let me go to the sign in screen again. Okay, so if you look at our sign in screen here, okay, first of all, what we need, so first thing we need is login form selector. So what I will do, I'll click on this little arrow icon here, right, and let me select this field which will be surrounded with the form. Yeah, there you go. So this is our form class, right? So in our form element, we have a ID, password, sign in form here. So let me copy this ID. Now because we are using ID here, right, so we need to append hash at the start. Okay, if we are using class, then we need to use dot at the start. So next thing is we need to find out submit button selector. So let me again click on this little arrow icon and click on this sign in button. And if we see here, then our sign in button is ID login. So let me copy this ID again, hash, and the ID name. Okay, now the next one is username field selector, which will be our email or username field, right? So for that, ID is username. So here hash and then the ID of my field. And similarly for the password, let me select the password field, which is the ID is, where is the ID? Yeah, there it is. The ID is password. Okay, so the password hash and the password is the ID. Okay, all good. Now save it as a draft. Now next part is to set up the login page. So as you can see, my login page URL is currently my home page URL, which is not true. So let me replace this. But any other page URL which requires login to open, right? So as we all know that this particular URL requires login to open as well, right? So what I will do, let me update this login page URL with this one, which is /id, right, which is our login page URL. And any other page which requires login to open, I can use this URL as well, right? But usually, like account screen or all those screens are really safe to use, because account screen or my profile screen always requires a login, right? Or the account settings, all these screens always requires a login. So what I'll do, let me copy this URL here, and that's it, and save it as a draft. Okay, now we have our login feature set up here, right? So what I can do, let's go to the preview here again and let me refresh the page. Okay, so as you can see, now because my application requires a login, I do not see those bottom tabs anymore. Okay, because I'm currently not logged in. So basically I will need to log in first to the application, and then only I will be able to next part of the application. Okay, so let me enter my username and password here. So now you see I'm successfully logged into my application. So my login screen is gone now, right? I passed that step, and now I can again see all the screens after the login, which is my tabs: home, browse, notification, and account. So we have successfully integrated the login feature here, right? And my application is now fully protected with the login screen. So if any of the user will install the application and they are not logged in, then they will see the login screen first, and then after they will be able to see all the protected screens that we have. Okay, all good. So now the next thing here is we need to remove or do some customization here. Okay, so what I want to do, first of all, obviously I have this native navigation bar here in the application, right, which is in my application. Instead of this one, what I want to use my native one. So what I can do, I want to remove this one. Okay, but on the home screen, what I want here, that actually this search option is really useful for me, right? So I want to keep this search option, but instead I want to remove all these other options. Okay, so let's do one thing. One by one we will remove all those widgets. But now on my home screen, I want to keep this search bar, so I can't really remove the header altogether. I can't remove it. So what I want to do, because I want to remove that search bar and everything from the browse page, I don't really want to use it here. Okay, I don't really want to use it on the notification and the account screen. Okay, so first of all, you see I can still see my footer. So let me go to the general and the remove elements and add a new element. Sorry, this is my login page. Go to the general settings under the remove elements, and now let's find out the footer element. So okay, now to find out the footer element, let's click on this little arrow icon. Okay, and select on this one. So you see my footer element is this one, which is footer. So let me go here and just add footer here and save it as a draft. Go to application and reload this. Okay, so now you see I do not have footer at all at the end of the screen. It's gone. Okay, now the next thing is that I don't really want to use this like question mark icon, this help icon as well. So let me remove that as well. So click on this arrow icon again and select this widget, and we can see that that widget is basically this element, which is IDKO widget. So let's go to builder again, add a new element, and because it's ID, we're gonna append hash at the start and then the ID here, and save it as a draft. So we go here, refresh it again, and as you can see that we don't have that element at the bottom corner here. Okay, all good. Now the next part is to remove few elements that we don't need on the home page. Okay, so if I go to my application again, then on the home page I don't really want to use these four elements, this hamburger menu, this icon here, right? Notification screen, we already covered it here, so I don't really need it, and the help icon, I don't really need for these four icons. Okay, so what I'll do, first of all, I'll go to the home screen from here. Okay, click on this icon and select the notification icon. So this notification icon is this one, it's under the span tag here, right? So what I will do, let me copy this class name. Okay, now this class name is kind of let's first of all, let me go to the home screen here, because now I want to remove only these four icons from the home screen. I'm not removing the complete header, right? So I cannot use the general settings remove element feature, but instead what I'll do, I'll go to the home screen and I'll go to the dedicated remove elements menu here, click on the add button, and now we need to enter the class name. Now this time, because we are using a class, we need to append dot at the start and save it as a draft. Okay, so let's go here and reload this. So as you can see, actually instead of notification, all other three icons also got removed, because all of them are using the similar class name. So all the elements with the similar class name got removed here, so which is good. Now we need to remove this header only, sorry, this logo only. Okay, so let's go here, go to our website and select this logo element. That what is this? It's inside this particular element, yeah, this class. So let me copy this one, this class name. Okay, and add button, and because it's class, append dot at the start and the class name, and save it as a draft. Okay, all good. Now let me go here again and reload this. So you see now my search panel is actually in a full width, so that's good. All the unnecessary elements has been removed. It looks perfect, good. Now because my home screen is kind of the first screen that user is gonna see, right? So instead of like displaying the home here in the navigation bar, what I prefer, that I want to display my logo here, my application logo here. Okay, so to do that, what I will do, I'll go to the builder here again, under the navigation bar, change the title type to tab image, right, and upload the title image here. So for the logo, I'm going to select this one. Okay, now let's save it as a draft. I want to keep it center, so that's all good. And let me refresh this. Okay, so my logo is kind of looking like a rectangle, but instead Pluralsight's logo is actually a square logo, right? So what I will do to fix this, I can go to the app theme. Okay, and inside the app theme, we can see here the title image height is 70, but the width is 140, so it's not aligned. So what I'll do, let me switch it to 40 by 40 for both of them, because I want it square, right? So I will switch it to the square one, which is 40 by 40, and save it as a draft. Now let's go here again, and there you go. Our logo looks perfect now in the header. Okay, so our home screen is good. There are few other changes that we need to do, but before that, what I want to do, that I want to remove any unnecessary elements from other screens as well. So if I'll go to browse, then this header is still visible. If I go to notification, it's still visible, and it's visible in account as well, because we have only removed it from the home page. So now let me go to the browse screen, remove elements, and add an element here. Now in my browse screen and all the three other screens, I want to remove this element completely, right? The header element completely. So let me find out that what's the identifier of this header element. Okay, so if we go here, right, then let me see. Yeah, you see this element, if I'll move select this element here, on the left hand side we can see that the header is completely selected, right? And if I move up, then it actually selecting the complete window. So what I want to do, I want to select this particular part, ps-chrome. Okay, so let me copy this one and then go to the builder, and because this is id, so as you know that we're gonna append hash at the start and then id and save it as a draft. Now let's verify that this is working first of all. So let's go here, reload this, go to browse, and there you go. I don't see that anymore, right? So that is working perfectly fine. Okay, so for that is good. Now I want to do the similar changes in notification and account as well. So let me copy this, go to notifications, remove elements, and add this here as well, and similarly for the accounts as well, and save it as a draft. Now let's go here again and preview this. So now let me go to browse, it's not there, in notification it's gone, in account it's gone, so everything looks perfect then. Okay, now next thing, in the browse actually I see one thing that I don't really want to use, which is this ways to learn. It's kind of informative content, but I don't really want to use it in the mobile app, because mobile application, we all know this is a browse screen, so we can directly start with this part, courses, right? So what I will do, let me go to browse screen from here, and then let me make it responsive again, and ways to learn, we want to remove this, so select this element, and if we look at this one, then I think it is this element. Okay, so let's go inside for this one, ways to learn. Okay, what could be the unique element here? So I think for this one I have an element which is text heading actually. Yes, I can use this element. So let me find it out. Yeah, so I think we can use this one. Okay, so let me go to browse again, and then under the remove elements, let's add this element, save it as a draft. Let's go here and in the browse. Okay, that is not working, so let's use another one. Okay, let's go here again, this one, and then I think this is this element css. Let me copy this and see. Okay, so we are using it at one places, so I can copy this class name. Instead of this one, I'm going to use that css one, save it as a draft, go here and reload this. Oh yeah, there you go. So as you can see, now we don't have it anymore. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I have customized my home screen, browse screen, notification screen, account screen. I have removed all the unnecessary elements, so now everything is good, right? Okay, so now what about if I'll do some navigation here? So for example, if I'm going inside the courses screen here, right, there is a back button enabled here, but we don't see that, right? So now our next thing is that we need to fix that button issue, the button color issue, okay, on all the screens. So let me go to navigation bar. On the back button, I want to change the icon as well. At the same time, I also want to change the color of that icon. So instead of the black color, what I will use that white color, FC, right? And update this and update and save it as a draft. I'll do the same thing for all the screens. Okay, now let me go here and reload this. Okay, and go to browse, and you see now the back button is completely visible. Okay, perfect. Now what I want to do, let's make this navbar text little bit bigger, right? because I don't really want to use this small text. So what I will do, I'll go to app theme and I will change the title font size to let's see, it's currently 50 right now, so maybe I can change it to 20 pixel. Let's see how does it look. Yeah, this looks good actually, right? So let's keep the 20 pixel size for this one. Okay, and at the same time maybe we can change the position to left hand side. So what I'll do, I'll go to builder again, under the screens, in home screen we are using logo, so let's keep it center, right? We are not using title here, but in the browse screen we go to navigation bar and change this to left. Now in the notification as well, go to navigation bar, change this to left, and in the account screen navigation bar, and we will change it to the left. Okay, perfect. Okay, so if I go to browse, now it's on the left side, notification on the left side, account on the left side, looks perfect. Okay, now on the account screen, usually on the account screen we see the account setting button as well, right? So we also have an account setting URL here. So account setting, this one. So what I will do, let me copy this URL and let's add one linker button on the account screen. So on the right hand side, I'm gonna add one button, a linker button. So as you know that linker button is pretty simple button. Basically it's the URL, right? And for the setting, let me get the settings icon and change the color of that icon. Okay, so the icon is selected and now we need to provide the URL. So on the click of this button, I want to redirect the user to this particular URL. That's what the linker button is, pretty simple. Save it as a draft, go to the application here again and reload this. So you see now on my account screen, we have a settings button as well. And if I click on the settings button, it will bring me to the account settings screen. And if I'll go back, I can see my profile screen again, right? Okay, so my profile screen, my account screen is completely done. I don't think so we need to do anything in this one. My notification screen is already good, right? My browse screen is also good as well. If I go to any courses, you see I have a filter option here and everything. So everything looks perfect here. Now what we can do, let's go to the home screen, and on the website we have this hamburger here, but because on the home screen we did remove this icon, right? Now I want to use the hamburger menu on my home screen because there are a lot of other options here that I want my users to use. So that's okay. If we remove this button from the mobile application, we can actually use tag selector button to mimic this behavior. So using tag selector button, what we will do, when we click on that native button, a tag selector button, okay, we will open the hamburger menu, this particular section on the web page. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, so first of all, let's go to portal. Okay, home again, navigation bar, and on the left hand side I want to add that button. So click on add and select tag selector button. Okay, let's select the button icon, which is the hamburger icon. Similarly, right, update it. Now we need to provide the selector here. Okay, so let's find out the selector first of all. So we go to website here and click on this icon, right? And as we can see, this button is basically this particular element, right? And the button ID is pre-skill mobile menu. So let's copy this one and then go here. Now because this is an ID, we're gonna append hash at the start and the ID name and save it as a draft. Okay, so let's go to application again, reload this, and you see now we have this tag selector button, and let me click on this one, right? So as soon as I click on it, you see it's bringing the similar hamburger menu as the website, and when I click on it again, it's gonna close it. So that's how basically we can get rid of the website's header menu, header element completely, and we can actually mimic the exactly same behavior with our mobile native functionalities, right? Now, this customization is really required because first thing that you want to give a mobile application feeling to your users, right? And so you want to maximum utilize the native elements of the application, and this is the way to use it, right? And the second thing, Apple is really strict about like just converting website into mobile apps without any customization. They might reject your application saying that your web application looks exactly similar to your website, so they will not approve it, right? And that's when the Twinr is a powerful platform, because we are providing such an extensive level of customization in an application using these kind of native functionalities, right? So I would highly recommend utilizing this feature, remove elements and tag selector button, our JS button and everything. And as you know that all the information is available here, right? So always you can go to help.twinr.dev and you can find all the information here, that how the button works and what is the purpose of this button and everything. Okay, so now let's go to our app again. So our application is currently perfect. Okay, I want to test one thing here, which is our video player, because this is an educational website. I am providing a video courses as a content here. So the most important thing for me is that how my videos are working, right? So on our home screen, we have a video here, right? So let me click on a play button. So as you can see, the video is playing perfectly, right? Now let me click on other options, which is the full screen. So as you can see, now my video is in a full screen here. So if I'll rotate my device, it's gonna rotate as well. Okay, now let me close the full preview, and this option here, okay, which is, let me click on that. So you see, this is also working as expected. Now your users will be able to navigate the application, and the video is still playing on the top of the screen. So all the video player features are working as it is from your website. So you don't really need to worry about it. Everything is working as expected, because Twinr do provide out of the box support for the video player. So everything is all there. Okay, now the next thing is about some other extraordinary features that we need to implement in our application. Okay, so the first thing is that upgrade now. So now my users wants to purchase a subscription in my application. As you all know that when we work with digital content, right, we need to use Google and Apple's payment integrations instead of whatever we have on our website, because that's Google and Apple's policy, that if you are providing a digital content on your website, right, then you must use their in-app purchase feature. So now let's see that how we can integrate in-app purchase feature in the application. Perfect. So to do that, we have a in-app purchase support for Android and iOS, both of them. Okay, so what I will do, I'll go here, okay, and under the add-ons section we have these extensions here, and under the extensions we have this in-app purchase menu. Okay, so let's click on it and enable the in-app purchase. Now the first thing we need to provide is response submission URL. Okay, so let's understand that what is this response submission URL means. So when currently on the mobile application, okay, if I click on upgrade now button, everything is working as expected, whatever you have on the website, right? So if I click on upgrade now button, so let me go to the website here and go to the home screen and upgrade now. Okay, so you see that we have this starter plan, professional plan, enterprise plan, and everything is here. And if I click on any of the plan here, obviously it's gonna bring me to the checkout page with all the existing payment information or the payment gateway we have on the website. But on the mobile application, we know that we can't use it, right? So that means if we can't use that flow, that means we need to implement our new in-app purchase flow. So Twinr in-app purchase integration is actually with complete support. You just need to plug in with your application and all the behind the scene work is there for you. So you don't need to worry about anything. Okay. So response submission URL. So response submission URL means whenever user will purchase a subscription successfully using Apple or Google in-app purchase, right? Whenever they will do it, what we want to do, we want to submit that URL, submit that response that user has purchased the subscription successfully using the in-app purchase. Now we want to submit that response to your backend that this particular user has purchased a subscription successfully, right? And now we will be from the Twinr side. Okay, Twinr in-app purchase integration will send that response, send that information to whatever URL you will be providing here. Okay, so let's go to our documentation, and under the in-app purchase, let's see what is that response submission URL. So whatever URL you will enter here, that can be your, it must be a post request URL, right? It must accept a post request. Now whatever URL you provide, okay, we will be submitting this information to that URL as a post request. Okay, Twinr product ID, store product ID, platform that user is purchasing a subscription from which platform, Android or iOS, purchase receipt for you to verify that user has successfully purchased it, and later on you can use this purchase receipt for to verify that user didn't cancel the subscription and it's still active and everything, right? Success, true or false, and the user info. So info is very important because this way you will be able to know that, okay, which user has purchased a subscription. This is really important information, right? So we will be providing all this information to you, and then once we will submit the response to this URL, response submission URL, right? On your backend, you will be doing the process and you will be assigning this subscription to that user, right? And then after when user will actually refresh their screen, they will be able to see that they have access to the particular subscription inside that application. Okay, so that's what the response submission URL means. Okay, now as you can see that response submission URL is providing Twinr product ID, store product ID, these two information. So let's see what does this two information means. Okay, now let's go to the portal, and first of all, right now I'm entering just pluralsight.com because obviously we do not have access to their backend, so I can't directly submit response to there. Okay, so I'm just entering a dummy URL for now. Okay, now the next thing is to click on the add button here to create in-app purchase products. So on the website, as you can see, we have three different plans here: standard, starter, professional, and enterprise, right? So on the mobile application as well, I will need to mimic these three different plans. That, okay, in mobile application as a in-app purchase, user can either purchase starter, professional, or enterprise plan. Okay, so click on add button, and first of all select your product type, which is auto renewable, consumable, non-consumable, or non-renewable. Okay, so obviously all these subscriptions are auto renewable every month or every year. When they will, every year it will be upgrading in a recurrence, right? So user don't need to do it manually. So this is an auto renewable subscription. Now it's asking me for Android product ID and iOS product ID. Okay, so let me take a look at the let's find out the Android product ID first. Okay, so to do that, to create an Android product ID, what we need to do, we need to go to the Google Play Developer Console, your account, right? And inside, and you need to go to your application, whatever application you created there. Okay, and inside the application, go to the products menu, and under the products there is a subscriptions menu here. So click on the subscriptions menu and create a subscription. Now as we know that what we are doing here, we are creating a starter plan. Okay, so maybe under the subscription here we can provide the product ID is PLS basically the Pluralsight _ starter, something like this. That will be my product ID for this one, right? and the name will be Pluralsight starter, and create it. Now once the subscription is created, we need to create plans under the subscription. So there are the first thing is we need to provide the benefits, which we can do it later on. All these things are basically the description and all the things that we need to, information that we need to provide to the user, which is not important for right now. The important part is add a base plan. Okay, so now we need to select the base plan ID. So now if I go to my website, then base plan means it can be either monthly or it can be either yearly. So I need to select the pricing now. Okay, so first of all, let me create a monthly plan. So which will be PLS underscore, let me go here, which is PLS underscore starter underscore monthly. So now this will be, actually we cannot use underscore here. So let's use hyphen. Yes, so this will be my monthly plan ID, right? Type will be auto renewing because I want it auto renewable every month. So monthly, grace period is 7, which is good. Resubscribe, so basically if they cancel it or expire, so if the subscription expired, then do we want to allow them to resubscribe? So yes, allow it. And now we need to select the price. So click on this set price and select all the countries and click on the set price button and select the price. So my monthly price right now is 33 USD. Okay, so let me select the price 33, and here we can select the currency, which is USD. Okay, 33, update it. Okay, well, good. So price is being set. Click on save button. Everything is good. All the information is good. Now activate the product ID. Okay, so as you can see, my product is being activated successfully. Let me go back, and now this is basically my product ID, PLS underscore starter. Okay, so I need to copy this product ID, go to the portal, and inside the Android product ID we need to enter this. Okay, and that's it. Once we will enter this, submit it. And for iOS as well, let me use the similar product ID for now. Okay, and submit it. Once we submit it, you see that there is an Android product ID, there is an iOS product ID, and then there is a Twinr product ID as well. Now this information is really useful. Okay, so when we look at this submission response, so basically Twinr product ID is this product ID. Okay, the store product ID is this product ID. So if user is purchasing from Android, then it is PLS underscore starter from Android, right? If it is purchasing from iOS, then for iOS maybe you have something like PLS underscore starter underscore iOS, something like that, right? So we will be sending that ID as a store product ID. Okay, so all this information is really important. Now save it as a draft. So what we did now, we have created one auto renewable subscription product here. Now what we need to do, so first of all, in our mobile application, when I click on upgrade now button, it's bringing me to the outside of the application. So let's fix that issue first, because currently our domain is app.pluralsight.com, and this is basically the pricing and purchase flow is on pluralsight.com. So what I'll do, I'll copy this domain, go to the portal, and then under the screens menu, under the general settings, we have a URL policy. So I'm going to decide add a new custom policy that whenever you found out pluralsight.com in any URL as a substring, open it in the current tab and save it as a draft. Okay, now let's go here, reload this, and click on the upgrade now. So you see, now we are in the application itself. Okay, so now inside the application we can see the standard plan and start with standard button. So if I click on this button, basically it's starting the website's purchase flow. Whatever purchase flow we had on website, it's starting the similar thing. But I don't really want this one in the app, because in the application it requires to start the normal in-app purchase flow, right? The whatever the standard for Android and iOS. So let's go back. So what I want to do, I want to just switch the URL of this button. So instead of when we click on this button, instead of going to that particular part, I want to start the purchase flow of my mobile application, right? What I can do, first of all, we need to go to the documentation here and let's understand that part. Okay. Now let me go to the section where it says to set up. Yes. Okay, so basically now you have everything ready. So basically we created our product, and now what we need to do, so we need to create our IAP product and we need to set up the purchase flow. Okay, so there are two ways to do that. The first part and the first way to do it is set up using a custom URL. Okay, so what I want to do, on my mobile application, when I click on this start with standard button, okay, so let me go here and click on this start with starter, and as you can see here, when I click on that button, it's basically professionals. Okay, it's basically bringing me to what is the URL here. Let's find it out. Okay, so this is the URL here, PS starter QTY model, right? This is basically the URL for this button. So instead of that URL, what I want to do, I want to redirect it to my custom URL, my in-app purchase URL, and that URL you can prepare it like in-app purchase : / so all this part is common till product ID, right? And product underscore ID equal to what you need to provide here, your Twinr ID. So let me copy this URL first. Okay, and from this URL, what I want to do, let me go to the portal here. Okay, and let me create temporary button to start the purchase flow. Okay, so maybe on the right hand side on the home screen, let me create one linker button for purchasing. Okay, update this and then enter this URL here. So in-app purchase : / twinr.dev and product ID equal to, I need to give my product ID here. So my product ID was, actually we forgot to copy that, so let me cancel this, and my product ID is TWIAP784. so let me copy this ID. Again, go to home screen, under the navigation bar, add and linker button, in-app purchase : / twinr.dev, and then what was the other part, twinr.dev, and then product underscore ID equal to this ID, and then let me select the icon as well, which can be this one, update. Okay, and then add the icon here. Okay, which I have an extra. Okay, so the URL is being added, and save it as a draft. So let's go here and reload this screen, reload our application. So now we can see this icon here. Actually, I forgot to change the color of that icon, so let me do that. Where is the dollar icon? Yeah, there you go. And color is gonna be FC and update. Save it as a draft and save it as a draft. Okay, so reload this one. Okay, so we have this dollar icon here now. Okay, now when I click on that icon, okay, it's gonna say that purchase error, no product found to purchase, please contact support if issue persists. Okay, obviously because right now our application is not end-to-end, because to purchase the in-app flow I need to set up the like a sandbox account and everything, so it's not going to work out. So what I will do, let me open my Android demo application where I have selected where I did all these things end-to-end for this application. Okay, so let me open it here. Okay, so you see now I have another Pluralsight demo here, and now I have this in-app purchase flow set up in this Android application. So what I'll do, I'll click on this upgrade now button, right? And I did set it up for the standard plan, monthly standard plan. So let's go there and click on start with standard. Okay, so as soon as we click on start with standard, you see, like, instead of going to the website purchase flow, now I can see this display here that it's asking me for pricing 38.99 and it says per 5 minutes, because when you are using a test account in a purchase, okay, 1 month becomes 5 minutes. Okay, and then you can test everything here, that after this successful purchase, you know, like, you want to use a test card which always decline, you want to use a test card which always approves. It's always, you can do this, all these techniques for your testing purpose. Now, how you can do this, how you can set up all these things, all this information is available on the documentation here. Okay, that what you can do, what you need to do to set up a sandbox account, and everything is available here in our test documentation, sorry, in our help documentation, right? So I'm gonna cancel this for now. Okay, but for the demo purpose, as you guys know, that's how we can set it up. Okay, so now how I did this, how I did manipulate this button URL here, which is using JavaScript. So you can do that as well, or because you have all the control of your website, right? So you can decide that if my users are visiting from the mobile application, then instead of using the normal purchase URL, you can use the URL that I did. Okay, similar to this URL, you just need to use this URL on the button click in your anchor tag in your href, right? Okay, now another way is, so for example, if you don't really prefer to use this kind of URL, so we do provide JavaScript bridge as well. Okay, so what is JavaScript bridge? So basically JavaScript bridge means that's a JavaScript function. So instead of providing this URL, what you can do, if you prefer using a JavaScript in your website to start the purchase flow, you need to call this method. So whenever, for example, on this button click, instead of the URL, what I want to do, I want to fire a JavaScript event that whenever user click on this button, okay, start the purchase flow like this. For example, if you want to do that, so you just need to use this JavaScript function, and that's it. Twinr underscore IAP underscore purchase, you need to use the exactly similar, and this Twinr underscore ID will be replaced with whatever Twinr product ID you have. Okay, and that's it. Just copy this ID, and whenever you will execute this function, it's gonna react similarly to this one. On the button clicks, it's gonna start the purchase flow like this. Okay, perfect. So that's how we can set up the purchase flow in our mobile application end to end, right? Using in-app purchase, and we can satisfy the Android and iOS requirements with that, right? In-app purchase requirements with that. So let's go back to our original application and see that where we are. So we did the purchase flow setup, we did all the application setup and everything, all the customization is there, purchasing is there, right? Everything is there. Now one last part is missing here is notifications, which is really important for our application, right? So let's go to portal again, and let's go to add-ons, and under the integrations we have Firebase notifications. So when you want to enable a push notification, first thing you need to do is you need to enable a Firebase push notification, right? Now once you enable that, you will be able to send generalized notification to your users. So generalized means you send one notification to all of your users or your segmented user, but not personally to any single user, right? So that's what the generalized notification means. Now with our Twinr 2.0 launch, we are also now supporting personalized push notification. So to set up the personalized push notification, first of all set up the Firebase integration and then go to personalized. Okay, so first of all let me enable this feature, and to do that I might have some plist file in my list that I can use. So there you go, this one is a plist format, and I'm just selecting any dummy files for now. and this JSON file and save it as a draft. Now go back and then personalized push notification. So yeah, so I have Firebase enabled now. So now I can enable personalized push notification as well. So let me enable this, and this integration is pretty simple. You again need to provide one webhook URL here. So what this webhook URL means, that let me go to documentation again for personalized push notification. Okay, so webhook URL means it will be again one URL that you need to provide to us, where we will be submitting a post request. So for example, whenever user will open an application, now because you have a push notification enabled, we are going to ask push notification permission to the user. So if user will allow that permission, right, once user will allow that permission, we will submit their device token, right, their email address, whatever user is currently logged in to the mobile application, we will be providing their email address or username, whatever you have, right, and the platform is Android or iOS. So we will be providing these three information to this particular URL. We will be submitting this information as a post request on this webhook URL, right? Now this webhook URL, maybe what you need to do, this webhook URL, after getting the post request, you might store this information in your database. Okay, and now because you have stored this information in your database, so for example, currently in application here, I am logged in as a gaurav@twinr.dev, right? That's what my email address is. Okay, so whenever I allow a permission in my application, my token, my email address gaurav@twinr.dev, and my platform, which is iOS, will be submitted to this URL, and it will be stored in your database now. So now if you want to send a push notification to myself, then you just need to use this device token. Okay, how you can do that? The Firebase documentation will provide you all this information, that how you can send push notifications using device token, right? Or whatever backend you are using, maybe like Node.js or Python or anything. Okay, all those backends have this kind of support inbuilt, so you just need to use some libraries to integrate this thing. Now you have this information available, and it's also bind with the particular email address which is unique in your database. So you know that if I want to send the notification to gaurav@twinr.dev, then I just need to use the device token which is connected to this one, right? So that's how the personalized push notification is going to work out. So for now, what I will do, I will just use any dummy URL here, save it as a draft, and that's it. My personalized push notification is done. So all the other work, submitting the information to this webhook URL and finding out the email address and the token and everything, will be handled by our integration. You don't need to worry about it. The only thing you need to provide is this webhook, and once we will submit the response to this webhook, you can store it in your database, or basically however you want to utilize that information. Okay, so now at this point we have our application end-to-end ready with everything, and which is now kind of ready to published, right? So my application, everything, all the information, all the setup we have done here. Now my next step is to publishing it to Play Store and App Store account. So I'm not going to cover that part in this webinar, because we already have other webinars available on that, and also we have a pretty good information and step-by-step information available on our help documentation to publish application on the Play Store and publish application on the App Store. So you can follow that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this webinar. In this webinar, we did convert one popular educational website, which is Pluralsight, into mobile apps, and as I have mentioned before, this is purely for demo and educational purpose, right? Okay, so that's it for this webinar, and I'll see you guys in the next one. In the meantime, if you guys have any other questions or concerns, you can always reach out to us via our live chat, or you can send us an email on hello@twinr.dev. You can also refer to our help documentation at help.twinr.dev for the detailed information. So thank you again, and thanks for joining us in this webinar.